fans, thanks so much for joining us for Well Read, Well Said, our September ending episode where we go over our book this month, Ward D.
Ooh.
No.
Yeah, spooky noise.
I don't think it was scary.
It was suspenseful.
Yeah, there we go. It was suspenseful. We do want to let you know if you want to read Ward D or you want to see the chats about it. This is the only place we really can interact with you guys on Facebook, our Facebook group that we have, Well Read, Well Said, WTOL 11 Book Club. You know, we talk to you, but you guys can't talk to us. So you got to do it in the Facebook because
we will respond there.
Yeah.
Megan's really on top of it.
I am.
She likes
very
to chat.
active.
I haven't been in there in a while.
We're gonna get Mel in there.
I was on a trip, so I haven't been on it.
You've been busy.
Yeah, recently. So, okay, we know that this month's book was Ward D by Frida McFadden. So we're going to start with our trivia question right here. It's Frida McFadden related. So Frida McFadden is a pen name, but she's written under another pen name. Ooh. Is it? And I even gave you guys multiple choice this time.
Thank you.
Frida Stone, Violet Page, Sophie Holloway, or C.A. Hart.
Do we make our guesses now, or should we wait?
You can make your guess.
Well, I don't know the name, but I do know she's like a brain surgeon or a neurosurgeon in real life.
Yeah,
which is
Like that's her
Really
right.
super
How do you have
smart.
time to do this?
I'm just gonna write
And
a book.
she cranks them out like
a lot. Pretty
book
often.
every
she just
year.
had a new
Like
one.
Taylor Swift. So I knew that, but I don't know the name.
I'm gonna go C, Sophie Holloway. That's my guess.
Okay.
I'm gonna say D because that looks familiar.
I'm gonna do D because I don't think Sophie would be like a neurosurgeon's name.
Okay.
Maybe C.A. sounds more
Frida
serious.
sounds more like a neurosurgeon name, right?
What are you gonna go with?
I
Well,
can't
you know
see
the
it.
answer.
She knows the
Wait.
answer.
It's definitely not A. Like,
Okay.
why would she
She had
write
the same
Frida?
Frida
Yeah,
Stone.
exactly. So, okay, so because we've really liked this book, we won't give you the rating yet, but we got through it pretty quick. We've read some other books, and so we want to talk about what those other books are for this month of September. So we'll start with what Mel has been reading.
Here's the problem, though, you guys. Like
I remember that.
You read them so long ago now.
Well, then you just keep it quick and say, this is what...
I told
They all
Megan,
blend
what's this
together.
about?
I didn't read this one, so I don't know.
I remember it was really good.
Well,
I finished it in
Like
like
a
a day.
You said that one was better than the other one.
First Lie wins.
I thought that, yes, First Lie Wins was better than Ward D, and then that one, Everyone Here Is Lying, was better than First Lie Wins.
Okay.
So it's a good book.
So that one's a good one. You gave it 5 stars.
Well, listen, I will say that they're all in the same genre. They're all thrillers, and they're all suspenseful and will keep you entertained. Yeah.
Okay. Your other one that you read.
Which is perfect because I don't think I should be giving away too much anyway.
That's a good point.
Everyone
Yeah.
was lying, and you
Yeah.
should just figure out.
Right. There's
lot
a
of
lot of
lying
liars
happening.
And
Okay, and then your other lying book.
so First Lie Wins, which was good, and I got Megan onto this one, and then Megan got her mom onto this one, and this is more about like a con artist, where this con artist gets hired to go do these jobs, but she's not really even who.
She says she is.
Right.
Oh, so she's a con artist.
Yes.
Conning the carding.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's
She's
trying
a
to.
con
Yeah.
artist.
And her boss, who she doesn't know the identity of, Mr. Smith, is trying to set her up for a woman's murder. And it was very good. I enjoyed it a lot.
And did your mom like it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did she finish it quickly?
Yeah, she finished
Yeah,
it.
this one was really good.
Okay, so Mel gave those both 5 stars.
Whoa. She's
Whoa.
handing out the 5s.
Okay, Megan, outside.
We know Megan throws the 5s around.
Yeah, Megan does. Actually, yeah, she does.
You were
do.
bragging last time that
You
you had
had
given like
5 stars.
17 books 5 stars.
I'm up to
already
like
this year.
20 something now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, this is her 21st star right here. First Lie Wins.
First Lie Wins was really good. I enjoyed that. And then I read Practical Magic for a different book club. And that one is the book that the movie with Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock is based off of. And this book was absolutely terrible. I gave
And
it
you
a 3
finished it?
stars.
You didn't DNF?
I didn't DNF. I finished it. It was written really weird, and
And you still gave it 3, even
3.
though it was terrible?
Wow.
That's she's generous.
When you sent me the title, I was like, are you sure this is the one? Who's the author? Because it was like 1960 something when it was written. I was like, no,
you are
thanks.
a generous rater.
I am. I try and give
Horrible
people
would
the
not
benefit
be
of the
3
doubt.
stars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
people.
if you
Like
said
a
it was
2.
terrible, I'd be like 1 star.
Like if you struggle.
But you
Yeah.
did finish it.
I did finish it, and I could not for the life of me figure out how a movie I love so much came from such a boring book.
Did they change a lot of the books?
No, they didn't. But like I feel more invested
Was
in
it
the movie.
loosely based on, or
It was very similar. The bones were there for the structure, but I felt more invested in the characters and what they go through in the movie as opposed to the book. And I'm usually one of those people that I'm like staunchly book was better than the movie. In this
Usually are.
case, it's the opposite. Movie was better than the book.
Huh. That doesn't happen very much.
what was
it
that
doesn't.
movie about again? I don't remember.
It's about the sisters that lose their parents and they're witches, and the one sister's boyfriend is bad and they end up killing him, and then they have to kind
It
of.
sounds good.
It was very good.
The movie is really good.
I watch it like every Halloween.
There we go. I
That
like
reminds me
Halloween
of the
Town.
ones. What's the ones with the 3 witches for the Halloween?
Oh, the new, they just
Hocus Pocus?
Hocus Pocus.
Oh, Charm. The show
No,
Charm.
Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus. Okay.
Well, the show.
Alexis.
TV show.
Okay, so we're gonna stick with some magic. Alexis.
Oh yeah. I read Quicksilver, which is very. If anybody has read ACOTAR at all, it has very ACOTAR vibes. Mel would hate it. There's Faye.
With the pointy ears.
Yeah,
Pointy ear.
little
But this
fairies
one,
and stuff.
there's several different types of Fae. So there's little like Tinkerbell Fays. There's like other Fays. But
Is that a scar or a teardrop on
It's
his
a teardrop.
face?
It's the Quicksilver,
That's
which
some
is
sort of gang thing.
no.
no, no.
No, it's more like a group cult.
Yes.
It's part of him. It's a thing.
has
It
a
was
teardrop.
very good. Highly recommend. Would give. I think I did 4 stars.
Yeah.
The world is really cool. It's world building, but not like too world building because you don't want to get like too invested in it. Like, but it's a jump off point because there is another one coming out
In November.
in November. I think the end of November.
And the
I
audiobook
think
was
I'm
really
kinda
good for that
scarred
one
from
too.
those books after that one I didn't like, which I kind of did like, but
You
I didn't-
did.
I'm just afraid to try those world building ones.
You
anymore.
might like other ones.
I think
Maybe
you would
ones
like
that are in
Quicksilver over
first-
ACOTAR. I think you'd like Quicksilver. It's a little easier.
Is Quicksilver first person?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, she'd probably
And I
like
feel
it
like
better.
there's action right
I
off
don't
the
want
start.
all the world stuff.
It's not too, but this one's not. It's not too like.
Then she needs Fourth Wing.
Oh, you do need to read.
Because the world stuff is
It's
not
easy.
really
It's
there.
easy,
It's
too.
easy.
Yeah.
What do
Okay,
you need to write
we're
about
gonna
all that
move
for?
on.
You can just
You can imagine it. It's,
when,
not, it's
when the
fun.
fairy is flying through the,
It's
you know,
fun to
You
get
gotta
away
know-
sometimes,
You gotta know if
Melissa.
they're going northeast, south, or west.
Right, we don't need to know.
Oh, yeah.
My book is multiple books. I actually read a whole series
Oh, jeez.
in the time that I finished it. So it's the Lauren Asher series. It's kind of like building on her like 2 other series that she has. It's called The Lakefront Billionaires, so it's very unrealistic. But it's Love redesigned. The second one is Love Unwritten, and then Love Arranged. You can probably guess what went on. And
I can't though. We need you to tell us a little
Okay,
bit.
so it's romance.
It's
so
romance.
There's
Love
probably brothers.
Redesigned
Is there
is
brothers?
Enemies to Lovers.
Ooh, I love that.
Love Unwritten was the nanny and the boss, and then Love Arranged is an arranged marriage.
And how do they like introduce the second and the third books?
They're characters that are mentioned in the first one.
Main
right?
male
See, I
character.
didn't like that about like the Colleen Hoover books. I feel like when they bring it in, it's not very authentic.
No, so the main male character is the brother of the first book.
Right.
And then the second book, she's the nanny, so she's a new one. And then the third book, the main female character is the sister of the first book.
I feel
so
like-
they're all in all 3 books from the start.
I feel
I
like
like that. That's like what I
do
usually
too.
read. But
I feel like Mal is very much of a I
I'm
like a
more
standalone,
realistic.
one and done kind of book.
I'm more realistic. These love stories are once in a lifetime, and then you're going to tell me that the sister also has this kinky love affair, love story. That's not true.
With a billionaire, come on, he flew to Paris
I just
for
feel
her.
like
So
my
realistic.
realistic mind comes in and says like, oh, this is not
Are you kidding
realistic.
me? He booked a first-class seat so that she would be able to sit alone, just for her. That's great.
It's just, I start to, I can't shut off my brain
Yeah, you think
to the fact
about
that this
it
would
too
never
much.
happen.
Well, you know what else would never happen?
People
Us
murdering
marrying vampires. Because Twilight is 20 years old.
And
Yeah. Can you
Twilight.
believe
Did you
that?
watch Twilight? Did you read Twilight? You read Twilight. This is where her hatred for fairies started.
Vampire. You know,
I loved it.
That's
You
different.
loved it?
I loved it.
Wow.
I was obsessed.
Yep.
Obsessed with
I
Twilight.
was obsessed
The first
with
book
Twilight.
came out in 2005, and I read those in high school, and then was going to like the midnight premieres of the movies when they started to come out.
Yeah, I did
also
the
went to
Breaking
the midnight.
Dawn one. I made my whole family go.
Yeah.
I'm sure your brothers
Okay, wait,
loved
we gotta
that.
know. Well, my brother wasn't born at that time. He was a
okay.
baby. But we gotta know: are you Team Edward or Team
Jacob.
Jacob?
Edward, obviously.
I'm
You
Team
were
Edward,
Edward.
too.
You were Edward. Oh,
You
okay.
were
you Team
you,
Jacob?
You were Jacob.
Well, I mean, Jacob was closer in age to me.
Wait, why is it? I forget like why it was the teams though, because I
It
just
was a
really,
love triangle.
Because it was, in New Moon, it was a love. Because
when
Edward
Edward
left.
And then
Spoiler
she
alert
was
for
like,
anyone that
Oh
hasn't
my
read
gosh,
it.
yeah, 20 years ago.
Yeah. So
Yep.
it's okay. It was a
It
good
would be
series.
fun to read it again.
I probably would read the last two books. I wouldn't read the first.
I
two
would not
books.
read New Moon again.
Eclipse
Never.
was my favorite.
I hated it.
I hated New Moon.
Edward wasn't there, and I loved Edward.
And
so
I
You know
don't
what was
care.
great in the movie in New Moon when it fast forwarded
And she
through
was
that
like
time
sitting,
and
yes,
she was
she's just sitting,
That was
pouting,
great. That was
like, oh
great.
great, he's coming back soon.
Yeah, it was good.
But he didn't. He was like was only in the very end, the beginning and the end of that movie.
I know.
Same with the book. He wasn't there.
That's probably why I didn't like New Moon either. Okay, we're moving on to our book. We've talked for 10 minutes
Sorry.
now about random other things. This book for our month of September was Ward D by Frida McFadden. I wrote in there that for me, this was a wild ride. That last 20%, I think, was pretty crazy. And you guys all told me it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
I
you
mean,
were
You
like,
all finished it, and I was
you
like,
read it a lot
chilling.
slower, like on purpose, like you did on purpose.
I did do that on purpose.
And I feel like you were texting us, I think this is going to happen. I think this is going to happen. And all of us were like, you just got to keep reading. We can't tell you. You just got to experience
That's why I think it was so fun to read, because the whole time you're like thinking of all these theories and like it was completely wrong, like completely wrong. which means
And I
it's a good
think
book.
that's like normal for Frida books.
Yeah. We do have to let you know this is the spoiler warning moment because we're going to get into our deep dive of Ward D and talk about what's happening at the end and all throughout the book. We're going to start, though, real quick with what we rated the book for Ward D. So we'll pop that up. I gave Ward D a 4 stars. I really liked it. But we all know I'm a aggressive rater. So
Unlike
you
me
won't
and my
usually
5-star.
see a 5-star from me. Mel?
Yeah, I give it a 4 too. I also thought it was really suspenseful and interesting. And this is the first book I've read. I mean, I've read other Frida books, but it's the first one in that genre in a while. So I think it's nice to, it's kind of a really fast, quick, interesting read.
Megan, you gave
I
it.
gave it a 5 stars. That's no surprise to anybody here. I liked that it hooked me from the start, and I kept wanting to back up the book to find out what happened next, and it kept me guessing. And I didn't predict any of the things, and so I think that was why I rated it so high.
Same. Well, I didn't do 5, but
You did 4,
I
right?
did 4. Yeah, just kept me interested the whole time. Wanted to know what was happening. Spouting off theories. That Melissa finished it first. Megan hadn't finished it yet, so I was texting Melissa, predicting stuff, and she's like, "Just read it." and then she was reading it, and she was texting me different things, and I had one of my friends reading it, which shout out to Paige, because she figured the whole thing out. Don't know how she did.
She knew?
I was showing
Which
Megan.
part did she guess?
She guessed, can I say it? You can say it. She guessed that the boyfriend was the doctor, which that blew my mind. Did not predict that at all.
But what boyfriend?
young-
the Jade's boyfriend?
Jade's boyfriend.
Not her ex-boyfriend.
Yes, she got that, and I was like, oh, that.
Wait, did she predict the ending, though, of the doctor?
What do you mean? Of like the old man dead?
Yes,
Or, well, kind of figured that out once she figured out that that wasn't the actual doctor.
We're gonna need to get.
She was
Paige
like
in
Jade's
here.
boyfriend.
Can you phone a friend?
I was very surprised. I was like, wow. But we talk about how much she reads.
More
This
than
is
me?
probably her
Maybe.
genre, though, too.
No, it's not.
No?
That's
No,
surprising.
she read it because we were reading it. So yay, Paige, and watching the show. But she predicted the whole thing. I was shocked because she was texting me and I was showing Megan, and then I showed her the text and she got it, and I was like, whoa.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Because
Okay.
that blew my mind. And then Spider Dan coming was my favorite part of the whole book.
Yeah, Spider Dan was pretty funny. There were a lot of moments where I laughed in the book.
Yeah.
I didn't expect anything. I was trying to guess because I'm the person who will message Alexis and Megan all the time and give my theories and tell them if I'm right or wrong.
You were way off too.
I was way off.
Yeah, you were.
So I'm upset about that. One thing I really liked about this book is that it's like a 300-page book, but it takes place in the span of like 14 hours. It's just one night.
One night.
I
Goes
like
by
that,
which is really cool.
quick. And I think in terms of like how an author would write it, it's not hard. You don't have to set a scene very much when
Right.
it just takes place in this short
Yeah,
time
and you
frame.
already kind of, I think people already have an inkling of the fears of what that would be like to be in a mental ward, and so you don't have to do all this building.
It's just creepy in general.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the characters and which ones we liked, which ones we kind of expected to be the person that they were or were not. So we have Amy Brenner, which is the main character. This is all told in her point of view. We have Jade Carpenter. She is the ex-BFF, and she's in Ward D. We have Dr. Beck, the doctor for the night. We have Will, who's a patient there. He's an avid reader, and he's a reporter on the down low. Damon Sawyer is locked in the room, maybe. Cameron, he is the med student that's also with Amy and Amy's ex. Then Spider Dan, Alexis's favorite character.
He's great. Love him.
And Mary, the old lady with the knitting needle.
I liked Mary
I mean,
too.
there's not much else about her. She's just the old
I was
lady,
kind
and
of sad
she's not.
that she died.
You know, I don't
Yeah.
think she was as crazy as they thought she
No.
was.
And her
No.
needles came in handy at one
They
point.
sure did. So I really liked Jade. I think she was my favorite character.
Really?
Yeah. in the whole
Really?
book.
She was like just stirring the pot the whole
Yeah, she was like
time.
there snickering, just like waiting for Amy to like do something, and she was watching her the whole time. I loved it.
Well, she was really bad too because she
Yeah,
was
she-
drugging Amy
with
when
the
they were
killer.
teenagers.
Isn't she dating the
Was it? I
killer, the
didn't
main
say that.
killer?
It's perfect. I mean, yeah.
There's
she
something
was-
wing with
she
you,
was-
just saying.
she
She was very layered. we liked all her personalities. And
Yeah, she had some issues. She did
little
want
bit.
to go rob a bank with beer bottles.
And her
She was
man who
poisoning her
murdered
friend's drink
Yes, but
for
like,
years.
for years, making her see little girls.
Supposedly.
Maybe. No,
because-
I think Amy was seeing the little girls, and Jade was
Wait,
like,
the
"Let me
poisoning
enhance
maybe didn't
this."
happen?
No, it happened.
No, it
but Did you,
happened,
the epilogue?
but
Did you read the epilogue?
Yeah, but then she started seeing the little girl again.
Yeah.
She wasn't,
she
she
without
wasn't
the
being
drugs.
poisoned.
wasn't being poisoned
Right.
anymore.
So
I know.
she's
She
cray
does
cray.
have actually.
Maybe she has
a
everlasting
little bit of-
effects from your girl,
Jade.
Or maybe she just has schizophrenia.
bestie.
I think she's a little crazy herself, for sure.
Well, yeah,
Amy.
she's definitely unreliable.
Okay,
Yeah.
who was your favorite character then, Mel?
You know, I felt bad for the boyfriend. I wanted the boyfriend to come around and be somewhere. I knew something bad had happened to him. I think that was pretty obvious, but like, because we didn't see or hear from him for the majority, but I wanted them to like get back together or something. So I
out.
felt a little bad for him.
That's Cameron, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cameron.
Yeah.
I did. I don't know that I like any of them, really. I mean, they were
was
all
just a
good
book.
characters. I didn't
Yeah.
like even Amy. She was okay, but I liked the book.
Okay. Who's your favorite? Or who did you like?
I
guess?
liked Will, who is the reporter that's like in there undercover to write the story. I thought he was really complex. It was really interesting. I felt kind of betrayed when they were like, oh, he's Jade's boyfriend, but actually he's not, and like all of this stuff. So I liked his character a lot.
And then Alexis, why'd you like Spider Dan?
Well, I did like Spider-Dan, but with Will specifically though, I did not believe his whole
Story about being a
and
reporter.
so then like it was like
because
a
reporters don't go into mental institutes for.
so
a story.
To me, that was crazy when that was actually the truth, and I was like, oh shoot, he's actually a good guy. And now they're together, and then she's kind of crazy, so now I'm still worried about him because he's with a crazy person who sees a little girl and the little girl's telling him to kill her. It's a whole thing.
Her to kill him.
That's what I meant, yeah. And no, Spider-Dan was just great. He made me giggle, and when he came at the right moment and just like saved the day with his floss that Cameron gave him the idea about.
Say.
Cameron coming in clutch too. It was amazing.
What about the end where she, as she was leaving the hospital, eats the treat that Cameron brought her for that night, and then she said that was the last she would ever have them.
Yep. What were they? Like Twinkie or something?
Yeah, basically like Twinkies.
Yeah. Cause something, yeah.
That was, man,
It was like her goodbye to Cameron.
that one got me. Not really, because
I was gonna say
no.
you don't cry that
I don't
often.
cry very
No.
often in a
Oh,
book,
and then she was
but-
like texting her friend, and when she was like
Yeah,
talking
and-
about the doctor being, what do you mean he's cute? He's an old man. I was
old.
like, oh my gosh. And then
Okay, yeah. So what about the ending? Like none of us saw that coming.
No.
I couldn't have even predicted that. Like in my brain.
You tried. You tried though.
As an author, if I
Yeah.
were writing a book, I couldn't have even done something.
That, and I loved how all the like patients, like they knew, so they were like trying to tell them the whole time that he's just been like walking around, and like everyone was like, no, you guys are just crazy. It's like, no, they weren't. This crazy guy was walking around the whole
That
time.
would be very
I
frustrating.
think
Yeah.
Amy knew too. Like she knew something was up the whole time.
I think she
just
was a little
couldn't-
bit wary of.
Yeah. She just couldn't put her finger on it.
Yeah.
Like every time she went to go talk to him, and he was just like sleeping in there or whatever. She was like, what's going on? Yeah. Still surprising though. Didn't know it was the boyfriend.
Me either.
No.
I didn't either.
I'm sad I didn't get it. I like when my predictions
It
are
is
right.
kind of fun when you can like.
I feel like you need to read another Frida and see
I
if she'll trick
do.
you again.
No, because what's going to happen is I'm going to try and think of the most outlandish thing.
It's gonna be the simplest.
and
thing.
it's going to be, the brother.
Malcolm's razor.
So, all
Good
right, that does it for our discussion. We're going to pick our next book after a short break.
Oh, so this is the book. We're doing this.
Yeah.
When's the movie coming out?
24th.
My age?
Yeah. She's the mom in the.
Oh.
Hey, welcome back.
You're gonna know right away.
So we've been talking about our book. We changed things up, and usually we randomly pick a book off of a genre. We decided to change it because we haven't done a book versus movie deep dive since our very first book. So why not go all the way back to the start again with the same author?
I realize that.
Making movies right now.
She's
based
like-
on books,
So that's what we're gonna do. So Alexis, you want to hold up our book real quick, and we can announce what book we're reading. It looks like just you. So we're actually reading "Regretting You" by Colleen Hoover. We chose this obviously because we like Colleen Hoover books, but the movie comes out October 24th. So We're going to start it for our October read. And by the time we have our second episode for the month of October, the movie should be out and we'll be able to watch it and
Break it down.
do a little discussion.
We were
on it.
looking at the back and trying to figure out if we've read it before, because it's not a new Colleen Hoover book or anything. What's this one about again?
I haven't read this one. I put
Neither
a
have
little synopsis in here if you want me to read it to you guys.
Go ahead.
It says, Regretting You tells the story of Morgan, a mother, and her teenage daughter, Clara, as they try to navigate love, loss, and the growing pains of their complicated relationship. When unexpected tragedy strikes, both women find themselves dealing with grief in very different ways. Morgan struggles with protecting her daughter while redefining her own future, while Clara seeks independence and her own voice. Their conflicting emotions create distance, testing their bond. At the heart of it, the novel is about family, forgiveness, and learning how to heal together.
Yeah, I don't think I have read that one.
I feel like you did, because I know I bought this when we were all reading these and we were like passing them around.
I know I have not read that one, so I'm excited to.
Maybe you didn't, because you burned out of them, and I like read them all and kept going.
Yeah,
I might have
did
just
read
bought
a lot
this
of
one.
them.
I remember I have read it, and I remember I don't remember most of it because it was a long time ago. But I remember this is one of the ones that I was like happy I bought it because I really liked it. And it was one that nobody was like really talking about. So I remember after I read it, I was like, man, more people should read this one because it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, because at the time, Verity was the
Really
big one
big.
that had.
And that's gonna be a movie too.
Oh, we're gonna have to do that one.
We're gonna have all these movies that we're gonna have to see, just like this next one that's also coming out when, Megan? November?
No, December, I think.
December?
Yeah.
Well, it's The Housemaid, also by Frida McFadden.
Oh, we gotta read that one too.
Yeah.
Is that next month?
We can make it next month.
December.
Might as well.
Right? The movie comes out in December.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one, The Housemaid, has Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried teaming up for the new thriller. Take a listen.
I want you to feel safe here.
I do.
Theodore.
Sydney Sweeney moves into a suspicious new home. The actress works for a wealthy family led by Amanda Seyfried in The Housemaid. The pair's picturesque lives unravel in the new thriller, which lands in theaters December 19th.
Well, maybe I read that one too.
December 19th, The Housemaid.
Yeah.
I might have. You know, some of the books have similar themes, like where a young pretty girl goes into the house, like with Verity, you know, then it just gets all jumbled up here. Because then it's been so long, and I don't do the Goodreads thing like you guys, so who knows?
Clearly,
We're gonna have to get you started, Mel. On your
She
Goodreads
made one,
account.
right?
She made one?
Yeah, but I don't have friends on there.
You can't find
and
us.
I
It's the whole
can't.
thing.
I don't know how to use it.
We'll teach
I'll
you.
request you.
The Housemaid is a very good book. Really,
You
really
read
good.
The
I read The
Housemaid.
Housemaid.
Okay.
There's
That's
actually
the one
three. It's a
everybody
series.
talks about.
Yes, it's.
I have
it's
a
good.
lot of books that I'm gonna have to read.
It's good.
Maybe we'll read it
That
as-
Housemaid one. You'll read that. It's one of the 2-dayers. You'll be
I
like,
act
whoa.
like it's gonna take me all this time. I know it's not.
Especially
My
if
list
you
just keeps
listen
growing.
too, because you've been on an audio kick lately.
And I would like to try an audiobook and for it to be a thriller, because I do think like with this last one, Ward D, did you guys do the
I
audiobook?
listened to it. Yeah.
Part
So
of it.
I feel like it was probably even better than reading the book.
It was.
It was
good.
good.
The narrator was a pretty good narrator. I liked her. So
Yeah.
And you read the books. Me personally, anyways, I read the book so much faster when I can listen and I read.
Yeah.
Because I just have more time to do both.
sometimes when I'm like eating dinner and I don't want to watch TV, I'll just turn it on and have the book there and just
Yeah.
like, eat
Yeah.
and
I do
listen
the
to
same
it in
thing.
turn. Yeah. So it's easy. I've grown to like it after telling Megan that was not who I was.
No.
What?
not reading,
An audio
it's
Megan's like,
listening.
you should do audiobook, and I was like, "Ugh, I don't think I'd like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, listen to it.
I just don't think I can pay attention to it.
I think
you do. If you
can.
You do.
if you find the right book, the right narrator, you will
You
pay
guys
attention.
boss me around all the time, and then I'll say, "What
Listen,
did you just say?" I
Teddy
mean, that happens
Hamilton.
every day.
I'm telling you,
listened
while
to
you're
a
folding
Teddy
laundry.
Hamilton one?
Yeah.
Oh, Teddy Hamilton's a good narrator.
He is.
He's got a really deep voice.
There's like famous narrators
Yes.
too.
There's
Yeah.
specific ones that are a lot
and
better.
people will listen to the book just because of that narrator. Yeah.
If you want a really good audiobook, this is we were talking about this. I want to get you to read it somehow. It's called Dungeon Crawler Carl. Dungeon Crawler. What? If you've listened to this,
we only have like 30 seconds
Dungeon
left.
Crawler
But what is
Carl.
this about?
Dungeon Crawler Carl. Anybody who knows what this is knows what I'm talking about. It is amazing.
Is
the
this a
audio.
romance?
No.
What is it about?
It's basically like listening to a video game. My husband, I got him into it.
What makes you think that I would like that?
Because it's a full cast.
hilarious. It's hilarious. There's a full cast. The guy who does the main voice does all the other. Actually, does all the voices.
Who would
Is it
want to
like
listen to a
graphic
video
audio?
game?
Yes.
Oh, it's a graphic. The graphic audios are pretty good.
It is so good.
I did.
We listened to
Akatar
it for
graphic
4
audio.
hours.
Video game.
No, it's good. It's
Dungeon Crawler Carl.
It's a series. There's like 9 of them.
I already
but-
have enough issues with tongue twisters.
It's really good.
9 of them.
Okay.
I could
Okay.
never.
Oh wow! Look at
Oh,
our
yay!
director.
It is-
Oh, I would
Do you see the
never.
Do you see the cat down there?
That's some guy in his mom's basement,
No.
in his pajamas, and has got cats.
No,
In his mom's
it's like an
basement.
apocalyptic world. It's so
zombies.
good. No
I don't
zombies.
think
You're
I
wrong.
would-
This is a man who does not have a job.
How long is the
Who is
audio?
living in his mother's
It's short.
basement with cats. Look, he's wearing pajama pants.
Okay, he is.
He zoomed
exactly
it in
what it
too.
is.
Oh my gosh!
I
We're
hope
off the
Zach is
rails.
watching this because he got me to listen to it. And it's very
Look at-
good.
There was a little cat in the bottom too.
Carl
Okay,
is
you know
living
what?
in the dungeon
You
of
know
his
what?
mom's basement.
Okay.
We're gonna dungeon crawl away from this conversation
That's
right
Princess.
now too.
All
That's
right.
like my
we're
son if he
done.
lives at home in 20 years.
That's it. Melissa,
It's a great book.
We can't top Melissa's comment
Nope.
right there. I think we're done
Yeah.
for today.
I'm sure it's good.
It's oh my god. I'm gonna share my Audible with you.
Okay.
Oh,
They listen to this
never
for
mind.
4
I can't
hours?
say bye. We have to do. Okay. One more time. Frida McFadden is a pin name.
Oh,
and there's
we're
the
all wrong.
answer.
Oh, we were all wrong.
It was B, Violet Page.
I almost
yeah.
went with
That
that
is
one.
not a brain surgeon name.
No.
That's her other pen name.
name.
We don't
That's
know
not
her
her
real
She has
name.
3
She
names.
Say what?
She has 3 names, 2 pen names, and a real
So
name,
what does
and
she
we don't
write
know
under
her
that
real
name,
name.
Megan?
I have no idea.
we'll have to
I
look
have
it
to
up.
look
We'll
it up.
have to look it up. Okay, that's it now. We're done. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back in a week from today, actually,
Okay.
talking about regretting you.